and they seemingly were on wets for the start of the race. Others jumped into the pit lane in order to switch tyres. In fact, a majority of the field, all but 5 cars of the 22, made a switch during the formation laps. And now we have a situation where the race is red flagged, where the teams are strictly...
So I will end this live.
And it seems as though the teams are not allowed to work on the cars, so they simply just have to sit there and hope at the moment. Conditions at the moment, I think, beyond what even a wet tyre could do, and again, bulletins from the southwest heavily suggesting that it's not going to improve anytime soon. It's pretty stormy weather all throughout the south of England at the moment. Waiting to see what the next steps are here for race control, for the fans, for the drivers, for the teams. It's about going racing again, first and foremost, but only when it's safe. We had an internet outage around the circuit, which is why our stream died out for a while there, why just about everything went down. The red flag, I think, was a mixture of the conditions and indeed the internet going down and affecting everything from live timing to cameras around the circuit. It was pretty universally affecting these conditions, and now we wait for the opportunity to go racing here.
Adam, do you hear me?
Yeah, I do.
Ah, perfect. So I'm back as well. I went live on Instagram when we had the black screen and updated the people there. So make sure to always follow Euro NASCAR on all social media so we can give you updates when something like this happens. And even Liam Hazemans joined me in the live streaming, giving us a little bit of the updates from the pit lane. Nobody is allowed to work on the cars. We have a wet flag condition. It's still raining, but it's not that heavy anymore. Like it was before we went black. What I've heard is that we had no electricity, we had no internet connection, and therefore, yeah, the stream just died for a couple of minutes. But we are back, and I see one of the pace cars, at least, back on track to check the conditions. So we have to wait and see a little bit. But Adam, now I have to speculate a little bit. We had some laps in, right? And Dominic Shark was the leader, and for me, a lot of drivers were lapped. We even had a little bit of drama in the pit lane when the 89 car wasn't going. There was a red light when the initial start was there, and then they could join. But from my understanding, okay, the race was then green. They were already on track. Were they lapped or not? Do we have a full restart of the race in the qualifying order? Do we have it like we had it before the red flag? Do we have lapped cars? We have to find out a lot. This whole situation is totally crazy at the moment because of with the shutdown of electricity at the whole track. It also means that the live timing was gone, everything was gone, and we have now to wait and see what race control is going to decide. But this is a very, very unique situation.
It is. I suspect it's going to be a full-sail reset because the point at which the internet outage affected the pictures I was receiving was still in the first lap of the race when they were coming through the McLaren and Clark curve section of the lap. They only just about got a full lap in at the point where the red flag was scrambled. They just started lap number 2. Now, normally, under normal racing circumstances, if there's a red flag, they count back a lap. But if you count back a lap and you end up on 0, which is exactly what would happen as things stand, that would point to a full race reset. So that's what I'm anticipating here once the conditions are judged to be sufficiently okay to go racing. And you can see that they're parking up specifically at the Exeter Paddock Hill Bend, and that's the point where we go from a steep decline to the incline up towards Druids Bend, and that is an area where the rain, the water often pools, and you can see that there visually, a bit of a lake forming at the bottom of that hill. And not only can you see that, but you can actually see just how heavy the rainfall is. And I've had intel from as far as 60 miles away from the circuit, where it's still heavy rain here in the south of England, and that's 60 miles away in the direction the rain is hitting the circuit from. So I don't know, this feels like it might be a situation that isn't going to get better anytime soon. We do have one car.
Adam, they are calling the cars, and the first car they called is the 99 car of Dominic Shark.
Interesting. Well, there's Shark now coming out onto the circuit. And that is very interesting.
To be honest, I'm a little bit confused right now. This is a outstanding situation. I see now the 33 car moving. This has to be Florian Richard. And when we see those cars going to the front, maybe, a big maybe there, it means we start in the order we had at the red flag. So is Dominic Shark now leading the race? It would be his first lead laps in a Euro NASCAR race in the 99. This would be totally crazy. Adam, this is going to be fully nuts. I'm really sorry for that.
No, it's fine. Exactly what you're suggesting. It looks as though the order on our timing screens here is the order that they're sticking to, which means Toffel, Ellis, Anders Beers look to be the first 5, and some of the names that will, in theory, be further back are really interesting. Patrick Schauber, for example, who didn't even complete a lap at the time of the red flag, so he would be theoretically starting from 20th place. Dubeck in 13th. Happy Nessa all the way up in 9th, the kind of inverse of that. She, of course, was one of the drivers who didn't have to pit during the formation laps. And yeah, the cars are being called, as you said. And we will restart this race, it seems, behind the safety car. But great to see that we are going to have this race restarted. I was rather concerned we might be a bridge too far in terms of weather conditions, but they're going to give it a try. And as you said, for Dominic Schack, this could be really interesting, not just because it's his first lead laps, but of course he's got a fairly rich bevy of experience across GT racing, production car racing of various forms, and now has a good amount of mileage under his belt in a Euro NASCAR. And in conditions like this, I feel like a mix of experience, bravery, and a deft touch is what's going to win you a race.
Oh man, this is going to be total madness. This is going to be total madness. I've never seen something alike in the history of the NASCAR Euro Series. I'm here since 2017. I've never seen something like this. We had live pit stops at Most. I can remember that. We had a brutal rain race at Zolder where Tobias Downhauer clocked in his second win with Remotion with the largest margin ever on second place. There were a lot of rain races with madness, with crazy outcomes, but with this red flag, totally dead track with the electricity and the internet connection. Now we get back all the cars in the order we had before the red flag. This is going to be totally crazy. I would say buckle up, everyone, get your umbrellas, but stay out here, stay with us on the live streaming, stay there at the track, because this race, this will have a special chapter in the history books of Euro NASCAR for sure.
You're not wrong, and I must say, I was alluding to the fact earlier on that I've spent many a weekend trackside here at Brands Hatch as a spectator in my teen years. I'd often sit at Paddock Hill Bend. I'll tell you what I never saw at Paddock Hill Bend ever. A grid being reformed one by one at the steepest part of the circuit. These things don't have handbrakes, so everyone's having to press the brake pedal as hard as possible so they don't roll down the hill. So we are waiting for the last of the cars to form up at the moment. How far have we got on that task at the moment? Here comes the 89 car of Frulio, so that means that we've only got a handful of cars to reform from here. Your order then on the circuit and on the timing screen is Dominic Schack from Florian Richard, Thomas Toffel in third, then Matthew Ellis, who again I'm earmarking here, the British driver. He's done a lot here at Brands Hatch over the years in Big V8 specifically. Andres Beers in 5th place, Melvin Groot in 6th, Thomas Chrysonis in 7th, Dombrovski 8th, Happy Nessa 9th, 10th place Gambarotto, in 11th Van Leer, 12th Mulders, 13th Dubek, O'Brien, the American, in 14th. I bet he's never seen anything like this, coming over from the States. Tamak Kaladze in 15th place. Gordon Barnes in 16th. Claudio Remeggio Capelli down in 17th. Frulio in 18th. Wise in 19th. Schauber, Benedetti, and then this man, Mikael Blekemolen, is set to be the order. And look at the rain, it's still pelting down. It can only be getting worse out there on the circuit. And yet, look at this. We are rolling. The restart to take place behind the safety car. I will anticipate that this will be a couple of laps first before we get this race back underway. But to your point, Andre, to the point of our media colleague Gianluca, and to just about everybody else, this is going to be something we've never seen before. This is going to be Euro NASCAR Aquatics edition. The Hoosier tyres are going to be at the very limits of what they can handle in terms of precipitation. The drivers are going to have to lean on every bit of experience, every nugget of instinct that they have at the wheel of a car. This is going to separate the contenders from the pretenders here in the NASCAR Euro Series. And honestly, of the 22 cars on the grid, I think any combination of them could end up on the podium if this goes to the full 31-lap distance, because who knows what awaits at any given corner in these conditions now. You cannot predict this.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, I have the honor on German TV to commentate powerboat racing, so I'm familiar with this kind of racing, even with V8 cars. So I'm a little bit familiar with that. Now, okay, jokes by